Hey, coming up right now, Tennessee lawmakers pass a bill allowing teachers to carry on campus. How this new rule change will actually be enforced.
Also coming up, airlines might have to pay up on the spot if your next flight is canceled or delayed. We've got everything you need to know.
And a little bit later on, we're going to tell you who made history as the first ever passenger inside a flying car. Wasn't George Jetson either.
It wasn't too bad. Daily Flash starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
She certainly is. I am Mitch English. We're welcoming you to Daily Flash for this finally Friday. So glad to have you on board here. We got a whole show packed for you. It's going to have all the trending news and entertainment you need. Plus, we're going to have some fun, too. We also check in with our buddy Matt Doolittle. Matty, I was wondering the other day. Okay, so I'm about to take a trip. Like, when you travel, because Matt has, I don't know, how many pairs of Nikes?
Well, I mean,
Air Jordans, right?
We're down to about 78 now.
78.
So how do you know which ones to take, like with you for everyone? Like, because let's say you're going to go out to an event when you're out of town.
Well, you got to know what's going with it. I do the thing where I lay out the clothes with the shoes, but a lot of times I just walk into the closet and I let the shoes talk to me, and I go, "What? Come on, boys, who wants to go out today?" And then that's how I make my selection.
The shoes speak to him, Mitch.
What you need to do, just when you take the Prozac, just like break it right in half. And
No.
They'll stop talking to you.
No. You just got
you're right. Actually, we want
straight
you
line
on
that
buddy.
stuff.
All right, we got some good stuff from Maddie coming up a little bit later on. I have the perfect gift for Maddie. You're going to love this. However, I don't have $9,400. It's called the Therminator.
The Therminator.
Have you heard about this? It is a, you ready? And it's a real thing. It's a flame-throwing dog.
Oh, yeah, that's all that.
Have you seen this? It's a robot dog.
What? Wait a second. A flame-throwing dog.
Yeah, have you ever seen like the Boston Dynamics?
Yes,
the
robot dog.
Okay,
Yes.
so imagine that, except having
with fire.
Have a freaking shoot lasers up there.
It's for clearing brush.
Okay, no, yeah, which is
Sure. Clearing
so,
brush.
First off, it's legal in all 50 states, so you can get one. It's $9,400.
It's
legal. Yeah. How?
How is that possible?
It shoots flames 40 feet.
Please tell me you have to at least be 21 and older to buy it. No. Okay.
Here's the thing, I would love to have a flame-throwing dog. I would imagine there's just all kinds of lawsuits waiting for this, and every lawyer, Morgan and Morgan, are like, we're gonna have some fun, y'all, with this.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, like I said, it's all legal. It's supposed to be like for guard dogs, is kind of like how they're pitching it. But it's also like Matt said, you can also clear out fields with weeds and clear things out, and also for melting ice and snow as well as just being cool, I guess.
And a case full of Coors Light later, it's you chasing your friends around the driveway with that thing.
And you know what the problem is that it's with that price tag is that only like really rich people will be able to buy one, and those people, if you're crazy enough to buy one, you got all the money, you're extremely dangerous, and I don't want those people to have it, right?
Yeah, right. And I can see it at the next gender reveal party where half of the West goes up in flames.
That thing's got the infield of Daytona's name all over it.
100%.
Now. And if you think too, like you got to that, come to the house, or if you have people come over, because we have Uncle Tim is the big flame in our family. He's a huge flamer, and he loves it.
He's a pyro.
He's a pyro, right? He's a flame shooter.
9:30 is not going to be good for HR. 10? Yeah, 10 would be great. All right. Let's jump into the show. How about that? We go to Tennessee, the volunteer state, and they volunteered passing a bill that's going to allow teachers to carry concealed handguns at school. Now, the state has made this topic a top priority since last year's deadly shooting left 3 children and 3 adult staffers dead at a Christian school. About half of the states right now in the United States actually allow teachers or other school employees to carry firearms on the school grounds. Under Tennessee's bill, any person wanting to carry a concealed handgun in school will have to complete a 40 hours of training to do so. I have a friend, she's a principal, actually my best friend's wife, and she's all for this actually. And she's actually thinking, you know what, I'll go, because first of all, it's all kinds of training that has to go along with that. It just sucks that we have to have teachers now, they're our babysitters, they're the ones that teach, and now they have to protect your child. And, I can understand that. I know a lot of people, well, why do you need a gun in the first place? And I think I don't know all the rules, but I do know that they can't just, whoever gets certified it's like locked up somewhere.
Yes.
But even still, is that a good thing to have?
Well, I think
around?
when you look at it, we always hear the stories of the shooters getting away and doing deadly damage, right? Rarely do we hear about the heroes who actually have the guns that protect people and save lives, right? There was a state lawmaker here in Florida that suggested having outpost stations for the sheriff's department or the police department on campus, because they all have their kind of outpost stations, which are smaller, and that way you've got some kind of security on campus, right? So that in and of itself is a deterrent. But if you know a teacher is armed or a principal is armed, will someone be less likely to shoot up a campus? I would think that would be a big enough deterrent.
If because like you said, if they feel like, well, they hear so many, they get away with it, you know, they'll think twice at least. To add on to that, I think it's a great idea because you think about the money it would save. You know, you can give like just a portion of the school to those out. You see them in malls. I've seen them at Walmart before.
Yeah.
So and then also it helps students get to know the police officers too, because they have that presence.
It's a perfect educational tool,
why don't
right?
we?
It's a great idea.
I'm voting
not
for
sure.
Andrea this year. Okay, she's going to be our president.
I'll try my best.
Thank you.
The Biden administration's transportation department is changing the way airlines compensate customers when their flight is canceled or delayed. Now, under current regulations, airlines decide how long a delay must last before they trigger those refunds. The new rule defines a significant delay as lasting at least 3 hours for domestic flights and 6 hours for international ones. Now, airlines will be allowed to offer another flight or travel credit instead. However, consumers can reject the offer and demand a cash refund, which must be paid immediately. The 11 largest U.S. airlines issued $43 billion in customer refunds from 2020 through 2023. The Biden administration believes the rule change could save consumers more than $500 million a year. Expect to see changes within the next 2 years.
I think that we need this.
Yeah.
You know, we all have a story. I bet you everybody here has an airline story, right? Yeah. And you feel helpless, and they're like, there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
You know, plane's not going anywhere.
Right.
And if you feel like you have a little bit more, you're starting to see a decline in air travel. People are able to, Zoom and that sort of thing. If I know that, okay, I'll be compensated no matter what, I think I'd be more likely to fly a certain airline that has good customer service.
I know you guys travel a lot. I've cut down on traveling.
Yeah, I used to travel.
I used to travel all the time, but nowadays I look at the news reports. These planes breaking down or losing the stairwell or a wing or whatever. I mean, it's like I don't know how safe it is to travel in the airways anymore.
I'm just wondering what the budget airlines are going to do to compensate for this, because I've had my fights with the Spirit and Frontiers of the world. They are the worst people to work with. And they're going to find a way to nickel and dime it to keep that money.
What I love, well, I don't love about it, but try calling them.
Oh, you can't. It's not a thing.
And you go on you can't find a phone number on their website, no matter what. And they know that.
Right.
And the best way to do it is social media, they say.
Right. So they deter you from even trying to complain.
You figure you'll just like, all right, well, there's nothing I can do. But now we feel like maybe there might be.
Maybe. Chelsea Handler is reportedly signed on to join the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for season 14 as the first of 2 newbies. In the past, Chelsea hasn't been a huge fan of the franchise and even banned any housewife as a guest on her former talk show. It'll be interesting, though, to see how the dynamics between Chelsea and the housewives unfold. She's known more for comedy and making fun of people, while the show focuses more on the drama. Beverly Hills is not the first housewives franchise with a cast shakeup going on into the new season. Drop us a line, dailyflashshow.com. Let us know your thoughts on whether or not you think Chelsea Handler will be a good housewives fit.
Is she sleeping with the Bravo president, too?
Maybe.
Is that how she got on this?
She got that job too.
Google it. That's how she
landed the talk show on
altogether. You know what? She's controversial. I think it's basically whenever you have a show that's kind of stagnating, throw something in there that's going to mix things up, and that's what it sounds like.
Will it jump the shark? We'll see.
That's a good way to call it. A 9-year-old boy has taken the top spot in the European. You're doing what? European screeching contest. This will make sense. Watch. 9-year-old, he is the winner of the European Seagull contest. As an origin story worthy of a Marvel hero, he claims that after being bitten by a seagull during a trip at the beach, he took up the art of gull screeching. The boy says he has a deep respect for seagulls. I thought maybe we can put him up to that. Kid kind of looks like Matt Doolittle.
Oh, he does a little
Matt,
bit.
so we're going to try ours. Matt,
All
you
right.
ready for your, this is your screech.
All right,
let's
give it a
try
shot.
it. Ready?
The camera guys are going to judge you guys.
Here we go. All right, Matt.
All right, 3, 2.
Oh, that's actually, I've heard that before. I'm playing that. All right, here's mine. Here, all right. Wait, score on Matt. Hurry, real
Score
quick.
that. Oh,
All right.
0.
A
7
7.
from
Okay,
Noah and
7.
a 4 from Jimmy.
All right, here's
Okay.
mine. Ready?
All right. Ooh, that's good.
No, hold on. Let me do my screech.
You went the wrong
I'm
way.
saved by the bell. You are at least. We'll be back right after this. Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. Mitch English along with Andrea Jackson. Things are getting hot in here, all thanks to 90 Day, the last resort. Take a look.
If you're gonna do this to me, we're gonna get divorced. Bringing someone into my bed, that's not okay. I'm so freaking hurt right now.
The question is, do we still love each other?
Oh, I don't know.
I can't do this.
Oh, God. Where are you going, Kelly?
It's not supposed to feel like this.
Oh, yes, it gets much worse from there. And here to talk about it is our very good friend and relationship trauma expert, Dr. Janie Lacey. Hey, you doing there, Dr. Janie?
Hi, Mitch. I'm doing well.
Good. All right, explain a little bit, if people are not familiar with 90 Day, this whole show, what the concept is.
So 90 Day, the last resort, comes from the 90 Day Fiancé series. So what we've done was take some of the couples who had some of the more challenging issues through their season, and we took them to a retreat called The Last Resort because this was their last resort to repair their relationship.
All righty, and you know, you get to know somebody probably after 90 days is when you start to see who they really are. So that's what makes it interesting. However, out of all of them, who's the most dysfunctional couple on the show? Can you tell me that at least?
Well, I think each couple, Mitch, has their unique experience, right? So they all have different dysfunctions, they all have different challenges. But, you know, I think the key was that with all of the couples, there's something that anybody can resemble something in their own relationship, whether it's communication, whether it was conflict resolution, whether it was infidelity, whether it was looking at compromise, right? We can take a lot of these different concepts that these couples from The Last Resort were working through on The Last Resort to any of the couples that we work with in therapy, or perhaps someone that was watching the show. So I think they all have their unique challenges. Everyone has their dysfunction, but I think when it comes down to it, it's a matter of can they repair the dysfunction, and that's why we were there at The Last Resort.
Yeah, I wish I could appreciate you. We all see some element out of that. Is there some behind-the-scenes drama maybe you can spill and let us know?
Well, I think what's happening behind the scenes, right? We're seeing the snippets actually on the show, and a lot of that was these couples, it was their real life, it was their real feelings, and especially when we look at Asuelo and Kalani. You know, Asuelo was having a lot of difficult challenges with, even though he had brought betrayal into the relationship and then now being faced with giving his wife the hall pass and then her falling in love with the person she had the hall pass with. What we didn't see is even more so of the emotional challenges that Asuelo was experiencing, because I think it's one thing when you are the betrayer and now he's sitting in the seat of being betrayed and as a result losing his family. I think it was very, very difficult to see that behind the scenes and just a lot of the emotional outcry that we were experiencing, not on camera.
Yeah, I think the word emotions is probably going to play into effect of all that. Any other crazy moments that people should expect when they're watching?
Well, good old Angela. I think a lot of times people, when they think about 90 Day Fiancé, they think about Angela and Michael. And I think with Angela, you know, we see a lot of her explosiveness and we see a lot of her reactivities throughout the seasons of 90 Day Fiancé. But on The Last Resort, we also see her coming to a place where she was most vulnerable through the franchise, and she was actually able to reflect on her contribution to the dynamics that she had with Michael. But there was a lot of partying and there was a lot of stuff going on outside of what we were filming. But us as therapists, we had to draw a line, and we cannot work when people are under the influence. So, you know, those are some of the behind the scenes things that we had to struggle with. But we also understand it was a resort and people wanted to have fun.
That's what I was just about to say. I was like, all right, listen, you take me to a resort, you know, and I ain't got to pay the bill, you know. You're going to want that. And some imagined drama is shown there. But it does also say maybe, you know, true feelings come out because, you know, the inhibitions are loosened a little bit there. With your help, did you see any of the couples actually reconcile? And you don't have to mention which ones because we don't take away a lot of that. But did you get to see any success?
We saw a lot of breakthroughs, Mitch. You know, I think a lot of times when people have their defenses up, they're in these reactive states, they're pointing the fingers at each other, that coming into showing the power of therapy, coming into a therapeutic group setting, their individual sessions throughout the retreat, was able to give them insight to what the other person was experiencing of them. Because sometimes we have to look at our relationships are a mirror. But if we're looking at the mirror as someone that's hurting us versus being self-reflective and introspective of how we're contributing to that relationship, it can cause more harm than it's helpful. So we'll see through the last resort, several of the couples having breakthrough in their own self-reflection and how they contribute to their own self-suffering in the relationship. So that won't disappoint.
You know, you mentioned earlier about like we see ourselves in other people, you know, whatever point you want to take out. But you also mentioned infidelity. How can a couple actually overcome infidelity? Not talking about a reality source, but in real life, in life, I guess you could say.
You know, when you think about infidelity, it's like taking a tornado and running it through someone's house. Their house was their safety. It was their place of love, of all the things. So they have a place where when it happens in their house, so to speak, they're shocked. When you think about a tornado coming through your house, there's going to be a lot of shock. There's disbelief. There's a lot of different things happening. But one of the things that we do know, because a lot of times people do work through infidelity, Mitch, that we don't know because they're still together, is that it takes both people to have a growth mindset, but the person who's been betrayed, it's going to take some time to kind of go through that grief, PTSD symptoms, but the betrayer has to have some consistency. They have to take ownership. There has to be accountability, and that's going to contribute to them rebuilding trust and loyalty for the long term. And we know the most difficult part of rebuilding trust is 2 to 5 years of work, Mitch.
Wow, that is a long time. So something to think about if you're thinking about going on the other side. Dr. Jenny, thank you. I love having you on the show. Of course, you can check out 90 Day, of course, The Last Resort. It's on TLC. And if you want to get help with your relationship trauma, why not you check out Dr. Janie Lacey. You can go to the website at lifecounselingsolutions.com. We'll have the link on our website as well.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Matt Doolittle with this week's edition of Doing It. And this week we're doing it royally. By that I mean, let's dive into all this controversy going on with the royal family. You know, the English equivalent of the Beverly Hillbillies with less class and understanding of what a cement pond is. Now, a lot has happened with them recently, from King Charles, who sadly has been diagnosed with cancer, but has had his own history of controversy, what with his affairs with Camilla, over his ex-wife, Princess Diana, which, sure, man, hey, whatever floats your dinghy. Now, for those of you youngins or those who have just caught up with this whole family, it's always been the controversy theory that the royals had Diana killed in a car crash so she wouldn't spill the tea on the royal family. But unbeknownst to them, there would be a whole TV show that would come out about them called The Crown. Now, we thought the worst scandal to come out of the whole family over the years was Prince Harry marrying Meghan Markle and doing some bad podcasts, a book, and an interview with Oprah, but it's just gotten worse. This picture was posted after Kate had basically been hidden from the public view for over 2 months. Then she issued a statement about all the bad Photoshop, saying, "Like many amateur photographers, I do occasionally experiment with editing. I wanted to express my apologies for any confusion. The family photograph we shared yesterday."
Spot on, yeah.
Thank you.
Just
Thank you.
like
Very
her.
nice, right? Okay. Come on, Kate. Look. I've played around with Photoshop for a long time, and it's, when the trial ends, Come on, you could have done better than that. Most agencies noticed over 16 changes to that photo, and let me tell you, as I've recently been to the UK and look at the royals over there are looked at like Disney characters to most of them. So was this one doctored? I don't know. I mean, this looks pretty authentic to me. So there's allegations of Prince William out there cheating with this woman, the Lady Rose Hanbury, whose title is Marchioness, who has deep ties to the British royal family and is living just a stone's throw away from Prince William and Kate Middleton's residence at Amber Hall. Now, she's been a prominent figure within their inner circle. So there's also rumors that William had a kid with the Monkey Chumney. Anyway, there's also the rumors that Kate had an affair with a guy who's conveniently just committed suicide a few weeks ago, but she allegedly got pregnant by him, and that's why she was in the hospital. Then there's the part where William went off on a rager and put her in the hospital, allegedly, of course. Now that's a lot to unload. So, more like father, like son, or is it just more that the family hasn't learned from their past mistakes, that everyone praises them for really looking down on the people? Look, when I was in Europe, all they could keep asking about us over here was our political issues, our social stances. While I was there, I asked them about what they thought of the royals, and most of them had the same opinion that we do of prominent celebrity figures. We like to watch the reality show as long as it doesn't become reality and interfere with our lives, because at the end of the day, we all like to watch a good episode of the Jerry Springer Show happen in real life, and that's doing it royally. I mean, this thing is just taken on its own like circus, and it's really got a bunch of different layers, allegedly.
Well, yeah. When she was missing for such a long time, and then now these new allegations popping up. And if you're wanting to know the correct pronunciation, I know it's kind of hard. It's pronounced Timothy Chalamet.
The Duchess of Timothy.
Timothy Chalamet. Very good. Thank you there, Matt. Here's for doing it. Let's jump into some entertainment news. Well, it looks like this tattoo is never going to let her down. The 25-year-old tattoo enthusiast has gotten a QR code tattoo on her right arm, and guess what? It plays Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up on repeat when you scan it with a smartphone. It's called Rick Rolling, if you don't know what that is. You can go ahead and move out of the rock you've been living under. The prank actually involves trolling unsuspected person with a link to the music video of the 1987 tune. She said that she got her first tattoo when she was 18, instantly hooked. She now has 97 drawings on her body, including Freddie Mercury and an olive branch and a spider on the left side of her face. Renta's, that's her name, believes her markings are a timeline of her life. She also gets called abnormal for inking herself so much, but she says that being normal is kind of boring altogether. Ugh. I don't know if I would ever get a tattoo. First off, if I got a tattoo, it would be, Matt, a love dot.
Yep.
Because once that needle hits my arm, I would run away and scream in pain. I don't know how people get tattoos. God bless them. You have one, right? Don't you, James? I have 7.
James has a bunch.
But you have like a large, massive canvas.
On the QR code for the Rick Astley thing, my wife got me that as a joke to put on my laptop as a sticker that I can switch out. Not something permanently there.
He got me on it one time
too.
Because
we were at the airport.
And I go, "What's that, Matt?" And I go, "Son of a, nah, you got me."
Oh please, like you haven't sent me to some bad websites over the years.
It's the spin of Mitch English.
Right.
Okay. Me.
Yeah. That's, don't look that up. It's not safe for anything.
Yeah, we do spin. Anyway, we want to hear from you. We love hearing from you, matter of fact. Why don't you check us out on our website. Our website is dailyflashshow.com. There you can find not only full episodes, but any links that we've talked about, any stories. They'll all be there waiting for you. Dailyflashshow.com. And by the way, no Rick Rolling on that website whatsoever, so you're going to be fine. We got more news, entertainment, everything in between. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Daily Flash. We love having you along for the ride.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
I'm Mitch English, welcoming you to Daily Flash. So glad to have you aboard, and we're ready for the weekend. I don't know about y'all.
Sure are. Check this out. This lady is gone to Reddit to voice a complaint about having to spend more than $1,000 on a bachelorette party. The bride-to-be making a demand list. You'll love this. So the list includes assigned color-coordinated outfits, one of each for 3 days, 150 total.
Okay, this is people that have to attend.
They have to attend.
It's not the.
If you want to attend the bachelor party,
bride.
you have to.
Okay, now
the bride-to-be is saying, here's my bachelor, here's what I want you to do, and here's how much I want you to spend to celebrate me during a weekend. Okay, so we got that. A golf cart rental, $95 per person.
What?
2 sets of lingerie per person to gift the bride. Okay, so you've got to gift the bride 2 sets of lingerie. The house rental, a grocery budget per person, at least $75. Custom trucker hats at $30. Custom matching pajama set robes at $20, and custom T-shirts for the weekend, $25. More than $1,000 in just this.
Okay, and that's not even the wedding.
No, and that's just the bachelor party. That doesn't include transportation to get to this destination bachelorette party.
What's great about for Matt and I is that Matt has a discount on strippers for us, so we were we saved a lot of money.
BOGO.
However, we didn't.
BOGO'd it. Okay.
Actually, we didn't because we wound up the money we saved. We give them to him.
Yeah.
Just in ones.
Nice. Just in singles. I gotcha.
Okay, that's ridiculous. And I would say, hey, honey, I can't afford this. I can't do it. You guys have fun.
But then you get wedding shamed.
Yeah, I would imagine
because then if you don't participate, you don't spend the $1,000, then you're not included in the wedding, and you're considered a bad friend.
Yeah, well,
I don't get it.
The bad friend is making you pay $1,000.
I agree.
They got to be part of an affluent community or something, right? Where they all know that they've all got that money. Like you can't just ask people to do that.
But here's the thing: if you're going to ask people to do, shouldn't you be fronting the bill for that?
100%.
Yes.
Shouldn't you be providing the trucker hats and the golf carts and all that?
100%. Or you maybe even most of it. At least it's like, hey, look, I got all this. Can y'all do this? You know, that sort of thing. But that sounds like that's the whole shebang.
Yeah, it's one thing to participate and throw $30 in for a hat, but it's another thing to add an extra $1,000 for golf carts and groceries and house rentals.
Get out of here.
Yeah. And lingerie for the bride? Really?
What kind of party is this? What do y'all do there?
I don't know.
I mean, my bachelor party just ended up with a bunch of drunk fat guys snoring at the end of the night. So
all
that's what ours was.
I was tired, okay?
Well, the flying car company just made history by taking the world's first car flight with a passenger on board.
Ooh.
Legendary French musician Jean-Michel Jarre became the first person to go up and away in a flying car. Video shows the winged sports car speeding down the runway on 4 wheels before suddenly taking off. The air car was approved for flight in 2022, following more than 200 successful takeoffs and landings. The car runs on a BMW engine and flies at speeds of up to 120 miles per hour at altitudes up to 8,000 feet high. It looks more like a plane to me.
Well, 100%. The guys we were talking about this before. It's like we want a flying car. We get it. We want one. But with a wingspan, number one, I mean, you would have to stop, disassemble it, or assemble it, put it together in order for it to be the car, and then you're going to have enough to take off.
Right.
So, I don't know how practical it is, but if, I could see maybe this helping developing things like in military aspects.
Yes.
And, where they might need something like that would save money.
But for the regular old Joe, if you're going to fly that thing, where are you going to park it? It's not like you can fly into Publix and grab yourself a parking space.
Imagine parallel parking with those wingspans. It takes out the windows.
Yes.
And
Flying cars got to get to the point. I'm talking DeLorean-wise, where it just raises up and then it goes.
Yes.
I can't do a runway for a flying car.
No, you can't. No. Not at all. Like a helicopter. Or something
you got to just be able to go up and off. You can't.
And when are they for the dog walking sidewalks? When are they going to fix that crazy thing? And where
the
just
rotating,
rotate around.
The
That's
walker?
the Jetsons.
Yeah,
I just realized.
Kids don't know what that is.
Nobody knows what Jetsons is.
Yeah.
We hope you know what Daily Flash is because we got more after this.
Attention Daily Flash fans. Ever dreamt of being part of the action? Now's your chance. Join our exclusive virtual audience and experience the show like never before. Get a special credit on the show, interact with our fabulous hosts, chat with producers, and guess what? Some lucky participants might even find themselves on a massive billboard in iconic locations like New York's Times Square, Los Angeles' Sunset Strip, Miami, or Atlanta. Don't miss out on this electrifying opportunity. Sign up now by heading over to Blyzeal.com and be a star with the Daily Flash virtual audience.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson, and in today's KSA Cares, we want you to be champions of change.
oh, you have autism. How have you been able to have a relationship? Or, wow, I didn't know people with autism could have children. And I just like, we have lives, right?
Joining us to talk about how you can be one of the champions of change are Alex Estrella and Logan Slaughter. Welcome to Daily Flash.
Thank you for having us today.
So let's talk about the Champions of Change. What is the program all about?
So the Champions of Change program is basically a way for autistic individuals such as Logan and myself to really show what ability is about. And there's so much attention given to, the word like disability. And Logan, myself, and the other champions, as you saw in that video, are really just trying to show, amplify our voices to show that there's so much more that people with autism are capable of than mainstream society thinks. So, yeah, we've been partnering with Autism Speaks, and we're really proud to have the opportunity.
This is a terrific program. Logan, let me ask you this. What does true autism acceptance and awareness look like?
Well, acceptance is about loving people for exactly who they are. And I feel like when you accept autism, that just frees your life. And I've always said the cure for autism is acceptance. So I hope we can all accept everybody and love each other, just who we are. And autism is just a beautiful thing.
Logan, what are some common misconceptions of autism?
That no two people are alike, that it's a whole spectrum. And so I think we kind of think it's one way, but it's a whole spectrum. And so I think that's a lot of the misconceptions. And so it's just a beautiful journey, and we need to look at it with our whole hearts,
Absolutely.
and learn more about it. And Autism Speaks is a great place to learn more about it.
And Alex, how has your autism contributed to achieving your personal goals?
Yeah, it's contributed a lot to my personal goals. I mean, going back to, on the flip side of it, when I was younger, I kind of saw it as a detriment, and I wouldn't really tell people. In cases there were cases where I was like bullied in school, but I was private about it, so none of my classmates really knew. But now I embrace it, and it's part of my creative vision for when I'm making documentaries, and also working with kids on the spectrum with this, which is something which I do both on the daily. So, I fully embrace my autism, and to be a self-advocate, it's just super cool.
And what would you say might be a common misconception that you would like people to change going forward?
I think a common misconception, like what I said earlier, is disability. I think a lot of people expect people with autism or who are on the spectrum to, be working at convenience stores, being, movie ushers, but really there's so much more. And also to go along with that, a lot of people who, may not have the verbal repertoire that, most, neurotypical adults have so many skills that, might translate into a different voice, such as animation or, something remote. And so I think even if they're not verbally able to show what they're capable of, there's so many other ways to show that they have ability.
Thank you so much. For more information, head to Champions of Change on our website, dailyflashshow.com. Nearly 3 million students take advanced placement exams every year, and right now students can sign up for AP classes for the 2024-25 school year. AP Vice President Terry Redican joins us now. Terry, what are the benefits for high school students who want to take college-level AP courses?
Yeah, AP courses prepare students for success in college and beyond. Students who succeed in AP exams earn college credit, meaning they can skip introductory courses in college, saving them time and money. Research shows that AP students earn higher college GPAs and are more likely to graduate on time, helping them stand out on their college applications. And there's new research out there that shows students who don't score high enough to skip that introductory college course can still benefit. Regardless of their AP score, research shows that they are more likely to succeed in introductory college courses once they land on campus.
Okay, big question here for you, too, actually. How does a student decide which course to take and how many should they take?
Yeah, we have an online free tool called AP Potential. Students can access it with their SAT or their PSAT score report. And so what it does what it says it does. It shows elevated potential for success in a number of the 39 AP courses based on how a student showed their strengths in the SAT or PSAT. So if a student is strong in math, it might point them to AP courses that have to do with that. And so you can sit down with the report with your parents or your counselor and pick out some courses that sound interesting to you. And our research shows that AP benefits that we talked about a moment ago present themselves with 1 or 2 AP courses. You don't have to take 5, 6, 7 or more AP courses. That might be right for some, but for many, 1 or 2 is just fine.
And Terry, where can parents go for more information?
For more information, go to our website on exploreap.org.
Very good. Terry Redican, thank you so much.
Well, every year, National Small Business Week celebrates American entrepreneurs who run small businesses, including those who actually work from home. Tech expert Mark Salzman, he joins us to share some of the best tech tools to help these companies thrive. How's it going, Mark?
Hi, thanks for having me back on the Daily Flash. I've partnered with a few great brands that can help small businesses remain efficient and stay competitive. So let's start off with one of the most important considerations, a laptop. The HP Dragonfly Notebook G4 is packed with innovation to empower any small business. In addition to its thin and light design to take your work with you anywhere, this Intel Core-powered PC features a stunning 13.5-inch display, along with a wide-angle 5-megapixel webcam for you to look and sound your best and move freely during calls. It's sustainable too, with enclosures made from 90% recycled magnesium, while your business's data is protected with HP Wolf security. Now, as for home or small office printers, maximize your workplace productivity with the HP Color LaserJet Pro 3000 series. It's a new and high-quality laser printer family that delivers fast, reliable, and professional performance. Bring all your business documents to life with incredibly vivid color and much faster print speeds than its predecessor. And it includes the new and sustainable TerraJet toner, enabling up to 27% reduced energy consumption and up to 28% reduction of toner cartridge plastics. Since so many employees now work remotely today or connect with clients in other locations, this is great for video communication. It's the Poly Studio R30 Video Bar, the next best thing to actually being there in person. It makes every interaction feel incredibly natural. It offers exceptional video quality, intelligent camera framing, and a wide 120-degree field of view, ensuring an immersive collaboration experience. And it's not just how it looks, but how it sounds, as the Poly Studio R30 elevates meetings with exceptional voice clarity and intelligent noise reduction to ensure every participant can be heard. Well, if you're a small business owner, Block Advisors by H&R Block should definitely be on your radar. Think of them as your all-in-one team for your business needs that can often be confusing or time-consuming. Fusing cutting-edge tech with professional expertise, they can help with taxes, of course, but also setting up your business, bookkeeping, and handling payroll. With more than 2 million small businesses using their services annually, they know their stuff. BlockAdvisors.com has more. And finally, Vonage Business Communications. It gives small businesses a cost-effective way to communicate and collaborate from virtually anywhere. It's easy to deploy and supports voice calls, messaging, and video conferencing on your computer or mobile device, and works with VoIP desk phones too. Features include chat, screen share, recording, whiteboards, and more, and can be integrated with popular business apps like Microsoft Teams and Salesforce, and Vonage Contact Center. Vonage.com has more. For everything covered here today, simply head on over to inthenews.tv.
In today's Healthcare 911, are you worrying about your never-ending to-do list or the challenges of everyday living? Dr. Ken Red Cross is here with some simple swaps to help you stay calm and centered in our Dr. Ken Red Cross to the Rescue Health Minute.
It can be easy to get caught up in the stress of daily life. To help you refocus on the present and shake off your stress, try embracing deep breathing techniques. Calm, mindful breathing will help you slow your body and mind down. By swapping sweets for strawberries or sliced bell peppers, you'll get antioxidants and nutrients that will help keep you ready for whatever lies ahead. For a dose of stress-reducing magnesium, try adding a side of pumpkin seeds or peanuts to your meal instead of fries and chips. Relaxation is a good way to regroup and unwind, but if you constantly put off exercise in favor of lounging, it can magnify your feelings of stress. Movement can reduce the negative effects of stress on your body. No matter what you choose, even 10 minutes of exercise can help. In addition to physical activity, boron stress calm melt-away tablets can be an over-the-counter option to relieve occasional nervousness, irritability, hypersensitivity, and fatigue due to everyday stress. Its blend of plant-based active ingredients reduces nervous tension, calming both mind and body. As a non-sedative homeopathic medicine, it can help you stay focused and relaxed without affecting alertness. Lastly, try to look for the positives in life, for the things that you are grateful for. Giving thanks can make you feel happier and healthier. I'm Ken Red Cross with your Dr. Red Cross to the rescue, Health Minute.
More trending news and entertainment heading your way. First, though, we got to check in with our friends at the Daily Buzz right here on Daily Flash.
When it comes to giving Mother's Day gifts, don't overthink it because really, you can't go wrong with flowers and food.
I love the Ultimate Mother's Day Bundle. So this exclusive gift features our amazing mom bouquet plus the stunning Fleur de Chocolat Spring Blossom Belgian Chocolate Roses and this preserved Magnificent Roses gift that spells out mom and lasts up to a year. It's in select markets and it's available for a limited time only. This is a really interesting stat. So 50% of shoppers say they're gonna give mom a subscription gift this year. So Harry and David has the Mother's Day Fruit Club, where every month mom receives a juicy delivery of truly gorgeous fruits.
Go to 1-800flowers.com for more.
Follow the Daily Buzz on social media.
Yeah, you know what that club music means? Hey, girl. In the weekend, right around the corner. We have got your picks for Stream for the Weekend. This is where we tell you something you got to check out on your streaming services. We love to start with the ladies first. So Andrea, take it away.
Okay, my pick for this week is The New Look, streaming on Apple TV.
A figurehead. Monsieur Dior. I keep looking for a great collection to rise from the ashes of the war.
The New Look was the name given to designer Christian Dior's new line following the end of World War II and the Nazi occupation in Paris. As Dior's star rises, Coco Chanel's house is put in jeopardy, all based on true stories and the designers of that time. It's incredible.
I had no idea.
Me neither. I had no clue.
Fashion had a lot of history to it. Well, my pick this week is a new K-drama movie on Netflix called Chicken Nugget.
말이 안 되잖아. 뭐는 말이 됩니까 지금?
어? 박강정!
미라 씨! 지금이라도 장난이라고 싫다면 내 귀엽다는 듯이 볼 한번 꼬집어주고 말겠네.
So, a woman steps into an odd machine and becomes a chicken nugget. Now it's up to her father and admirer to embark on a zany quest to bring her back. It's on Netflix.
Fun.
It's this whole group. It's kind of like their version of like National Lampoon in Korea. So they're bringing this over and they're putting more and more on Netflix. It's all subtitles, but it's really, really interesting.
This is also based on a true story.
Yes, right.
Very interesting. All right, it's the idyllic life. Perfect town, perfect weather, perfect everything. Or is it? My pick, don't worry, darling. It's streaming on Max.
The one thing they ask of us is to stay here, where it's safe.
Do you even know what the Victory Project actually is? Have you ever asked?
Do you? Just think Stepford Wives with a little bit of a twist. It's directed by Olivia Wilde. It stars Florence Pugh as well as Harry Styles. It's a pretty cool little movie. But like I said,
people acting together.
Pretty people. And
pretty sets.
And 1950s. I love 1950s.
Beautiful.
So
beautiful to look at.
Thank you for all you watching. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
For more information on any of today's stories, be sure to visit our website, dailyflashshow.com.
And check out our socials. We have a lot of exclusive stuff on there as well.
All right. Y'all take care. We'll see you when we look at you. Bye-bye.